evening. This is QTV Nightly News coming to you from our studios on Kairaba Avenue, and I am Ashma Uba. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main news headlines. In a historic display of support, President Adama Barrow held joint meetings in Kirado and Gain Sanjal in the North Bank region, where he addressed thousands of enthusiastic supporters. The Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy, in collaboration with the International Telecommunications Union, is organizing a two-day workshop to develop the Gambia's National Emergency Telecommunications Plan. As the Gambia joins the global community in commemorating World Children's Day on November 20th, Ms. Nafisa bint Safiq, UNICEF representative in the Gambia, has issued a statement highlighting the significance of the occasion. Also, the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, in collaboration with various stakeholders, observed World Children's Day on Wednesday at the Makati Square in Banjul. The Drug Law Enforcement Agency, the Gambia, clarified its effort to strengthen security at the Banjul International Airport, while also addressing concerns about the sometimes lighter sentences given to drug offenders in court. Those and other stories coming up. Do stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us. In a historic display of support, President Adama Barrow held joint meetings in Kirado and Gain Sanjal in the North Bank region, where he addressed thousands of enthusiastic supporters. During these gatherings, President Adama Barrow highlighted the government's ongoing initiative to implement new road projects aimed at boosting development in the region. Usman Jata has more.
At Kir Ardo, President Barrow was warmly welcomed by the youth, traditional leaders and women's groups, all of whom gathered to engage with the Gambian leader in a dialogue aimed at fostering development. During the meeting, several speakers expressed their gratitude for the president's visit. Saliu Jallo, the alcalde of the village, praised President Barrow for initiating several development projects in the North Bank region, including improvements to electricity, water and road infrastructure. Fatuba, the lady councillor of Kir Ardo, commended the government's effort in women's empowerment through health and education. However, she highlighted that the newly constructed school in her community lacks sufficient chairs to accommodate students, calling for government's intervention to address the issue. Agriculture Minister Honorable Demba Sabali revealed that the Giraffe project is actively working on the construction of a 24.5-kilometer road project which will connect Badibu Mintekunda to Ker Ardo village and Njawara village. Additionally, President Barrow presented a $15 million from the Giraffe project to 43 farmers in Lower and Central Badibu to help boost their production. Addressing the crowd, President Barrow emphasized the importance of development in the country and announced his government's ongoing efforts to support groundnut farmers. We will purchase farmers' groundnuts at the same price as last year. In the previous year, we made a significant investment in supporting farmers. Due to the high groundnut yield, we spent $1 billion on groundnut purchase, but this amount was not enough to buy all the produce. As a result, the government added an additional $500 million to complete the purchase. After the Ker Ardo meeting, the president's convoy proceeded directly to Badibu Kerewan en route to the ongoing Bani Sali Kenya Njaba Kunda road project. At approximately 8 p.m., the president's convoy arrived at the joint meeting in Gain Sanjal. President Barrow received a warm welcome in Gain Sanjal, with hundreds of locals gathering to greet him, accompanied by the lively entertainment.
President
Various speakers expressed their gratitude to the Gambian leader for bringing development to their communities. Cattle farmers raised concerns about the insufficient water drinking points for their livestock and called for government support to address the issue. Meanwhile, the Minister of Lands and Religious Affairs, Honorable Hamad Ba, advocated for peace and unity, urging the community to work together to complement the government's ongoing development agenda. In his remarks, President Barrow expressed his gratitude to the people of Ngain Sanjal for acknowledging and appreciating the government's ongoing development projects in the North Bank region. He also took the opportunity to explain the purpose of his visit. The electorates are my only clients. You elected me into office. Without you, I cannot be president. I am your servant. President Barrow further revealed plans to launch new road infrastructure projects aimed at enhancing connectivity and development in the region. We still have new road networks to construct. Our partners have informed us that they are committed to building additional roads. This year, we have already started a 365-kilometer road project. President Barrow presented a giraffe matching grant award of $4 million to 13 farmers in Upper Badibu and Sabah Sanjal. The president is scheduled to hold his next joint meeting in Nyanija in the Central River region. Osman Jata reporting for KTV News from the North Bank region.
The Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy, in collaboration with the International Telecommunications Union, is organizing a two-day workshop to develop the Gambia's National Emergent Telecommunications Plan. Aliou Cisse reports.
This multi-stakeholder meeting aims to review the draft plan and its proposed action points, assess the readiness of the Gambia's telecommunications industry for disaster management and risk reduction, and provide recommendations to improve the plan's functionality and the effectiveness of early warning systems. Marisa Delgado, a representative of the International Telecommunications Union, described the meeting as important and timely in developing the plan that will align with global standards capable of serving the public.
It is vital to ensure that early warning systems are developed, implemented, and ready to be used in times of crisis. Whether we face a natural hazard, a health outbreak, or any other emergency, reliable and effective telecommunication networks and services, along with comprehensive communication strategies, national plans, and standard operating procedures can be the difference between life and death.
Dr. Njogu Elba, the Director General of the Gambia's Public Utility Regulatory Authority, PURA, and Hassan M. Jallo, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy, respectively, said the threats of disaster and technology failures, among others, are becoming more complex in a rapidly evolving world.
This will not only ensure that information reaches those in need promptly, but it will also facilitate a unified and organized response to mitigate the impacts of disasters. In tandem with the NETP, the development of a comprehensive early warning system is paramount. Such a system will empower us to anticipate emergencies, providing early alerts that allow for timely action to protect lives and livelihoods.
Through the National Emergency Telecommunications Plan, we aim to get out a comprehensive, coordinated national approach for leveraging telecommunications and ICTs across the disaster management cycle, from mitigation to preparedness, response and recovery. At the same time, the need for an effective early warning system is equally important. Early warning saves lives, and the ability to alert communities to potential hazards in a timely and accurate manner is fundamental to disaster risk reduction.
Given the increasing impact of climate change and other emergencies, this plan is expected to serve as a blueprint for disaster response in the Gambia. Stakeholders at this meeting are optimistic that its successful implementation will greatly enhance the country's preparedness for future disasters. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
As the Gambia joins the global community in commemorating World Children's Day on November 20th, a day dedicated to raising awareness about the various issues affecting children and promoting their welfare, Ms. Nafisa bint Safiq, UNICEF representative in the Gambia, has issued a statement highlighting the significance of the occasion. Mam Nabuka has the rest of that story.
The origin of commemorating this day goes back to 1925 when representatives from different countries met in Geneva, Switzerland to convene the first World Conference for the Well-being of Children. On November 20, 1959, the UN General Assembly adopted the Declaration of the Rights of the Child. In her statement commemorating the day, Ms. Nafisa bint Safiq, UNICEF representative in the Gambia, emphasized the significance of celebrating children's rights.
In the Gambia and across the globe, this day calls on all of us, government, UN agencies, development partners, civil society, private sector, service providers, politicians, and most importantly, families to work together to better fulfill children's rights.
The Gambia ratified the Convention of the Rights of the Child on August 3, 1990, and since then has made significant progress in advancing children's rights, particularly in providing services that safeguard them from violence. National laws, including the Children's Act, have been enacted to uphold these rights. Today, more children in the Gambia have access to healthcare, education, and are better able to realize their rights than ever before. The UNICEF representative in the Gambia commends the government for these achievements and encourages continued efforts to build on this progress.
We commend the government of the Gambia for its efforts. However, there is still much to be done to ensure every child can reach their full potential.
World Children's Day provides a powerful platform to advocate for actions that will create a better future for children. It champions children's right to participate, empowers them to voice their hopes, dreams, and visions, and emphasizes the collective responsibility of society to listen to and support their opinions. Ms. Safiq shares her vision for the future, one in which children are not only heard but also actively involved in shaping a brighter tomorrow.
Together, we have a duty to create a future where children grow up in safe environments, free from harmful practices, and with equal opportunities, especially for girls and children with disabilities. A future where no child suffers from climate change, malnutrition, or lack of access to clean water and sanitation. By listening to children, who represent over 50% of the Gambia's population, we empower them to shape their own future.
UNICEF remains steadfast in its commitment to supporting the government of the Gambia and its partners in advancing and protecting every child's right to a bright and vibrant future. Together, they aim to amplify the voices of children worldwide and ensure that their rights are fully realized. Mam Nabuka, reporting for QTV News.
That story by Mam Nabuka will take us to a commercial break, but when we return, we have more local news stories for you. Do stay tuned.
mooy fan fii mooy Inessa di place bi nga xam ne moom la ñëpp taam place bii bépp xeetu ataaya bu baax rek bu dugg see ci dëkk bi xamal li fii rek la am bara warga bii neex na lool saf na ba pare tamit nag am gu bu neex boo ko naanee rek da ngay kontaan ci saas añ ba suur ba gëreesal li nga lekk jëndal baara ataaya bii ndax moom la ñëpp taam gis nga sama client bii ataaya bu neex bu ne moom laa koy njëkk a jox ndax moom kat ataaya bu neex rek lay wër baara warga bii mooy warga bi gën te moo gën a saf kon nag ràññee leen ko bu baax kon daw leen gaaw ca Banjul foofu ca Inessa di place bi nga xam ni foofu rek nga ko mën a amee wholesale wala retail mu ngi foofu ci boori court house bi foofu ca Banjul wala nga daw ci bépp marché bépp supermarket bépp boutique fépp foo dugg rek di nga mën a am baara warga bii nga xam ne moom la ñëpp di wër tey baara warga moo dàq ci warga yi man maa ngi ci moom ndax su ma maree ataaya moom rek lay naan.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV News and I'm Ashmauba. The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, in collaboration with various stakeholders, observed World Children's Day on Wednesday. The event aimed to promote international togetherness, awareness among children worldwide, and improving children's welfare. Yafatu Gay attended the event at the Makati Square in Banjul, and she files in this report.
Commemorated annually on November 20th. This year's celebration carries the theme, Celebrating Childhood, Listen to the Future. The theme emphasizes the importance of creating an environment where all children can grow, nurture their potential, have their rights protected, and be provided with opportunities for development and growth. Rohia Tuka, the representative from the Ministry of Gender and Social Welfare, stated that the government is committed to ensuring the protection of children's rights and welfare in the Gambia.
My ministry will continue to review legislations and policies aimed at protecting children's rights and welfare of children. Particular focus will be on Children's Act of 2005 as a key piece of legislation that aligns with international conventions such as UN Convention on the Rights of the Child. The African Charter on the Rights and Welfare of the Child provides a legal basis for ensuring that children are protected from all forms of abuse, neglect, and exploitation.
Musukuta Koma, the country director for Child Fund the Gambia, called for the protection and promotion of child's rights, urging everyone to join the fight against child abuse and exploitation.
The scale and gravity of violence against children in our country calls for immediate and concerted action by the United Nations, the state, donors, researchers, and civil society organizations for all of us to meet our obligations to ensure children are safe from harm. We need to increasingly children and the youth participation in the intergovernmental space, releasing the potential of children and the young people within the UN system, engagement and mobilization of children and the young people, enhancing accountability for crimes against children and transparency.
Tida Barrow is a member of the Children National Assembly.
I therefore dream that and long for a future where children from the remotest areas of the Gambia have access to quality education at little or no cost. I dream of a future where no girl no longer stops going to school because of menstruation. I dream of a future where FGM, child marriage and sexual violence will be eradicated. But to make these dreams a reality, you must first start listening to us, the future. And also, we should be included in anything that concerns us.
World Children's Day provides children with a platform to express their opinions, dreams, and aspirations for a better world, while also celebrating their achievements and contributions across all areas of life. Reporting for QTV News, I am Yafatu Gay.
During the recent media briefing, officials from the Drug Law Enforcement Agency, the Gambia, provided clarifications on their efforts to strengthen security at key entry points, particularly the Gambia International Airport. They also discussed concerns regarding the sometimes lighter sentences given to drug offenders in court. Yafatu Gay again.
Effective screening, increased surveillance, and thorough checks at entry points are crucial in preventing drugs from entering the country. regarding the arrest and ongoing efforts to deter drug smugglers and enhance security at the airport. Modu Job, the Director of Border Safety and Security at the Drug Law Enforcement Agency, had this to say.
There is a newly established directorate responsible for border safety and security. And if you're talking about border safety and security, of course, the airport is one of them. We have two deployments at the airport. We have a task force and also the deployment of drug personnel. So when they took over, they strategized, they work closely with other stakeholders like the security institutions that are posted at the airport, share information, collaborate, and successfully they made lot of interdictions. Since the DG took over to now, we have made successful 11 interdictions at the airport. Those 11 interdictions involve some Portuguese nationals, and all the arrests that were made were as a result of cocaine and skunk. So the airport, we can comfortably say that it's not 100%, that we are not sure 100% that nothing can happen, but we are confident to say that the airport is well manned.
According to officials from the Drug Law Enforcement Agency, 44 drug cases have been successfully prosecuted since July of this year, following arrests made at various locations across the country. Abdoulaye Cisse, the Director of Drug Demand Reduction, Media and Advocacy, clarified the agency's role in court sentencing, emphasizing their commitment to ensuring that all legal procedures are respected.
When magistrates are imposing sentence during judgment, they don't sentence based on the CPC or criminal code. They exercise their discretion. Let me repeat, they exercise their discretion under Section 29 of the Criminal Code and Section 259 of the CPC to give an installmental payment of a fine or a lesser sentence, which we as an agency have a position to that. In fact, there are some of our cases that are already referred to the Minister of Justice, some decisions that we are appealing upon. But regarding the issue of this discretion that the magistrates are exercising, we cannot do much on that unless and until we wait for the cases that we have appealed upon at the High Court. We see the final verdict, what the High Court will decide regarding those appeals.
In some cases, law enforcement agencies in the Gambia have raised concerns over what they view as lenient sentences for criminals and offenders, arguing that only harsher penalties can effectively deter crime and send a strong message. On the other hand, prosecutors have constantly defended their actions, stating they are following due process and adhering to the laws of the Gambia, some of which should be amended. Reporting for QTV News, I am Yafa Tugay.
52 nursing students have graduated from the School of Enrolled Community Health Nurses and Midwives in Mansakonko Lower River Region after successfully completing a 2-year community health nursing program. Bakari Balde attended the ceremony and he filed this report.
The graduation ceremony brought together students, school authorities, parents and members of the community. These 35th graduating batch are trained to serve as primary health workers, ready to contribute to communities across the country. Mustafa A.M. Juf outlines the examination process.
Batch 35 were able to complete all the theory assignments as well as the practice. All these phases consist of 60% of their program, which is the continuous assessment. And each and every member of this group was able to complete the continuous assessment successfully.
Lamin F.F. Cham, the principal of the school, highlighted some of the challenges and achievements the institution has experienced over the years.
Since inception, the school has produced about 1,301 qualified enrolled community health nurses. including this very class that is graduated. And since then, the institution we can boast of successfully training talented health professionals, many of whom are working in key managerial functions, both in the government and in the private sector.
Dr. Babukar Cham, President of the National Association of Gambian Nurses and Midwives, was the guest speaker at the occasion.
Professional responsibility and accountability is chosen as the theme of today's event. What is professional responsibility and accountability? As a nurse, you are responsible to the entire population. So the concept of responsibility and accountability and autonomy are intrinsically linked to determining the scope of nursing and midwifery practice. Nurses and midwives hold positions of responsibility and are therefore expected to be accountable for their practice.
Zainabuli, Vice President of the 35th batch, and Sirif Molayan Jasi both expressed their gratitude for their tutors' efforts and shared their plans for the future.
I have a dream of being a pharmacologist. So, starting with CHN as a stepping stone is very important in my life because I've seen many individuals who have started from this school.
I'm very much happy for whatever, for all what they have done for us during the course of this training, because they have been our mentors, lecturers, I can say at some extent our family members.
Established in 1976 with support from the United States government, the School for Enrolled Community Health Nurses and Midwives is the only government institution responsible for training community nurses in the Gambia. In line with this mission, the latest group of graduates is now ready to serve communities across the Gambia. Bakari Balde, QTV News.
I'm afraid that's all we have, but before we go, I have a little announcement. As I wrap up tonight's bulletin, I just want to say a big thank you to all of you, our QTV viewers, for allowing me to be a part of your lives. This is my last broadcast as I'm stepping away to begin an exciting new chapter in my life. It has been a great journey, and I live with many fond memories. Your support and trust have meant the world to me. From the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you so much, and goodbye for now.